Hey, I'm the Gun Movies, and last video I did the top 10 worst films of 2022. So in this video, I'm gonna do the top 10 best films of 2022. Let's get started. In 10th place, I don't know how to pronounce this, but Glamour's the Taurus Pinocchio. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. But the reason why this is in 10th place is because it's just, this should have been the live action Pinocchio that Disney made that was released onto Disney Plus. Like, the first 40 minutes for this film should have been the live action Pinocchio. And then they just have like this mature story for Pinocchio and keeping the same lessons for this film. They like did it so perfectly for this film. It's one of the best Pinocchio movies. I love the animation, the stop motion animation as well. And then the actors for every character is like so perfect as well for this movie. Just everything about this movie is like perfect. I wouldn't say it's as good as the original Pinocchio that Disney made back in 1940s. But it is still a good Pinocchio film, which is why it's in 10th place. But in 9th place, we have Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery. Now, I'm not a fan of mystery movies, but when I watched this, I was like, oh yeah, this is like one of the best mystery movies I've ever seen. Like, I don't really like detective stories, but this detective story did it so well that it made it in 9th place for the year. Like, they did this movie so well, and I have even seen the first Knives Out, and I thought it was so good. This movie's so good. They did the mystery well. They just like the jokes well as well. The actors are perfect. The story is perfect. The plot is perfect. Everything about this movie. It's another good movie of the year, and I was really satisfied with it. The reason why this movie is not higher up on this list is because it went a little slow at some parts, but overall it was still a good movie. But coming in in 8th place, we have one of the newer movies, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Now, this is like seriously like one of the best animated movies of the year. And like, I was surprised because the trailers did not win me over at all. And then I saw good reviews for this movie and I was like, this probably is a good movie. So I watched it. This movie is like perfect. They executed the villain perfectly. The plot perfect. They were able to combine all the stories perfectly. And then like every villain who wants the wishing star, they had their motives perfect as well. It fit the fairy tale character. They just did this movie so well. The reason why this movie is not higher on this list, because I did enjoy the movies higher on this list more, but this movie is an amazing add to the Shrek franchise. Coming in 7th place, we have Black Phone. Black Phone is it's the best horror movie of the year. And I really enjoyed Black Phone. I love the plot of it. I feel like the actors fit perfectly. They even had like the tension of all the horror elements as well. They just like had it all together perfectly and fit like trying to escape with different calls that the character gets. They just made this movie perfectly and fit it like all together to make like the horror and mystery kind of feel to it. I love I love like the main villain in this movie as well. His mask is great. It's just like everything about him is great as well. And this is in 7th place because of that. But I did enjoy some movies higher on this list more than this, which is why it's not higher. But still an amazing movie, and if you haven't watched it yet, check it out. Coming in 6th place, you guys will disagree with this, but Uncharted. Now, hear me out. I have not played the games. That's pretty much all you need to know. So I haven't played the games. I don't know what these games are about, and I haven't watched the trailer for this movie. I just went into the theater, not knowing a single thing about this movie, came out, and yeah, this is one of the best Avengers movies I've seen this year. It's like, you guys will be mad when I say this, but I thought the cast was a perfect fit. Like I said, I haven't played the game, so don't get mad, but I found the actors to be like a perfect fit for the characters as well. And then just like they put everything together to find a treasure, and it just fits so well. I found it to fit like so well together. But I also haven't played a game, so I keep repeating that because I want you guys to remember that. But yeah, I just found this movie to be good. Which is why it is in 6th place. It's not as good as stuff higher on this list. In 5th place, which is another one you guys will be mad at, Top Gun Maverick. The reason why this is low and it's not number 1 of the year is because I watched the second one before I watched the first movie. There's your answer right there, right? This is in 5th place instead of 1st. I watched this movie before I seen the first one. My first time watching it, I barely understood the story. My mom had to explain stuff to me. But and the action sequences were amazing as well. Maybe a little slow at some parts, and then I watched the first Top Gun. My thoughts were basically the same for the second one. So I think the reason why I didn't like this movie as much as I hoped to, that I hoped I would, is because I just seen the second one before the first one, which is my own fault, which makes it at number 5. And then coming in at number 4, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Now, this movie I did enjoy. It's just 20 minutes of this movie could have been easily cut out of this film. But it is still a good story and a good end off to Black Panther. I did enjoy the second one more than the first, because I did not like the first movie. It's one of my least favorite Marvel movies. But the second one I did enjoy and is the best movie of Phase 4. One of the best movies of Phase 4. Black Panther 2 is one of the best movies of Phase 4 and the best Marvel movie this year. Black Panther 2 was good. The story was good. The emotional stuff was good. Everything just fit together. It's just that this movie is 20 minutes too long, which makes it at number 4 instead of higher on this list. But now we're coming to the top 3. So if you liked what you see so far, maybe hit the like button or subscribe. It helps me out. And coming in 3rd place, we have Avatar 2: The Way of Water. This movie, you can feel its runtime for sure. You can feel it. It is still a good story. The moment this movie was over, I thought of everything. I started thinking through the entire movie before this video because I wanted to rewatch it so I can see stuff I missed before. But I started trying my best to remember everything because it is a 3-hour movie, and this movie is a masterpiece. I think this should get an award. This movie is so good. This was one of the good sequels. The moment I saw this movie, I want the trilogy of Avatar films. I need a trilogy for Avatar films. I cannot wait for the sequels for Avatar. This movie was just so good. All the characters were great. And this just all fit well. It just works. The entire movie is just one of the great movies of the year. But it is not in the top 2. In 2nd place, we have a movie that might shock most of you. Bob's Burgers, the movie. Like I said, this was gonna shock most of you. The reason why this film is so high on this list, I enjoyed it. The music was great, the story was great, and everything just fit together well. I I I enjoyed the show, so a movie of it is just perfect. They executed the movie so well. The comedy is great. This is everything what you want from a Bob's Burgers film. It's everything you need from a Bob's Burgers film, which makes it in second place because it has everything you want if you're a fan of this show. If you're not a fan of the show, it's probably not in the top 10 for you. But if you are a fan of the show, it's most likely in your top 10 as well. But the best film of 2022, The Batman. Obviously, like, what else would it be? I mean, like, there's 3 other movies on my list that could be in this spot instead. The Batman. Do I need to explain more? It's a very good detective story as well. Like I said, I'm not a fan of detective stories, but this one executed it perfectly. The tension in this movie just fits so well. And the fact that this movie's 3 hours long, it works. This movie works as 3 hours long as well. Just everything is great about this movie. Just like one of the best Batman movies of all time. Like I really enjoyed it. Best detective story of the year, maybe of all time as well. I don't know. I didn't watch a lot of detective, but The Batman, best movie of the year. The actor of Batman fits. Everything fits in this movie. This makes it at number 1 and was the most enjoyable movie of the year as well. Now, if you're wondering, you had the same reasons for like 9 things on your list. You had the same reason for all of them. There's like only 9 movies of this year that were good. The rest were okay. So I have the same reasons for why the movie is good 9 times. Which basically 9 through 2 should be in second place on this list. But yeah, that's my ranking of the top 10 best films of 2022. Can't wait for 2023. It looks like a lot of good films are coming out. I can't wait. I didn't get to every movie I wanted to watch this year. You might have been able to tell. I wanted to watch Final Night, Scream, and Everything Everywhere All at Once. I didn't get to watch those this year. So that's why they weren't on this list. Because you guys were probably wondering, why is Everything Everywhere not on this list? But that's why. But can't wait for 2023. Looks like a lot of good movies are coming out. And see you guys next time. Goodbye.